the store of the future. And what I've done there is I actually, it's not all about tech and stuff like that. I just looked at who's doing well in retail and why. And that's it. So we're going to look at 10 things those guys are doing, and that's me done. So retail is no longer about a product on the shelf, okay? If I'm selling a glass in Ireland and it's a fiver and it's sitting on the shelf and it's got a lessee else in a fiver, is that retail? No, it's not, because that's online, you know? So what the good retailer's doing is taking a product and wrapping it up with authority, expertise, advice, reassurance, or whatever. So we're not just commoditizing it. Okay, so next we're just going to look at the future stores. So this isn't technical, it's not about refrigeration, thankfully. Yeah. It's just about who's doing well in retail and why. Retailers that are doing well have become an authority in terms of what they sell. Did you see this in Dublin Airport?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the Irish Whiskey Collection. This is a state-owned retailer. So they created this and became an authority. So you walk past this and look, it's got flat screen TVs curating the whiskey story. It's got embedded shelving with beautiful lighting. Look at that, the product is the star. It's doing whiskey tastings. It stops you in your tracks. Number 2 is clarity. This is, do you know Lloyd's Pharmacy Group? So my buddy ran Lloyd's in Ireland and then he went on to run the world. And when he was in Ireland maybe 8 years ago, he woke up one day and said, we've lost our way as pharmacists. He looked in a Lloyd's pharmacy and they were selling candles, they were selling handbags, they were selling lamp shades, the pharmacy, and he removed all the rubbish. And 3 things happened. One is they banked a whole lot of cash because it wasn't tied up in stock sitting there doing nothing. 2, consumers understood, I suppose, the relevance of the retailer in terms of what they do in primary healthcare. And 3 is the people that work here came to work joyous and happy because now they were medical professionals. Our mantra is stock less to sell more. Number 3 is difference. So look, retailers that embrace difference do well. But difference is good. This is the Arboretum Garden Centre in Carlow. And Rachel, who's a 70-year-old woman who owns this business, and it is probably the best garden centre in Europe, she put in these flowers, and you're invited to water the flower. Number 4 is hospitality, simple point, and that is we're seeing the integration of hospitality into retail globally. Does that make sense? We're seeing coffee bars and open up in shops. Yeah. And what is it doing? I suppose it's enhancing dwell time, so people stay longer. It's enhancing the experience. And it's giving some kind of maybe boring-ish retailer some sense of kind of personality. Okay, nearly there. Number 5 is personality, and this is quite a simple thing, and that's sometimes we're absolutely rubbish at telling our story. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. So we're going to meet Jim at Novum later on today, and I met Jim for the first time ever yesterday, and I said, Jim, what's the business about? What's your unique selling proposition? And Jim kind of admitted, Jesus, you know, we're Ireland's best kept secret. Customers want to buy into something. They want to move away from this commoditized commercial world, which is all transactional, to actually knowing that they're spending money with people that care. Number 6, this is a very quick one, and it's meaningful relationships. And I'm putting this in just to say that you need to challenge how we manage our relationships with customers. And just because Tesco do it this way doesn't mean we have to replicate it. Okay, so next point is sometimes we sell product the way just everybody else sells it, okay? So wouldn't it be great for the retailer to take absolute ownership of that category and for them to apply some intelligence around it? So to be able to say to customers, well look, this one's 300 quid, and look at it's actually, it gets 5 stars for manoeuvrability because it's quite light. Whereas this other one, it gets 4 stars for whatever. Does that make sense? But still, we just have all these products on the shelf and we hope customers will somehow interpret and understand them and pick the right thing. And look, this is an independent pharmacy store. But look at the colour. Look at the planting. Now, this is a pharmacy store. Look at the old world bottles. Look at the left here. She's got painted tires in a pharmacy. So, does that stop you in your tracks? Absolutely. So number 9, we all work in stores and we hear about out the store footfall, don't we? And then all that footfall stuff happens and we end up with sales. If we fundamentally just worked on those things, the sales will come anyway. So when we're developing KPIs for departments or stores or heads up, we should always talk about the things that will massage conversion and the things that will help ATV. And they could be basic things, but definitely they'll fall into two categories. So if you were to workshop this with your people, they'll fall into two different things you have to do. One is how we behave as people in our store. We need to greet the customer, acknowledge the customer, offer service in that department, self-select in that department. This is how we transact, this is how we get them through the queues. And the other is standards we keep, which is having more baskets around, having a clear returns policy, all that stuff. So the point here is, let's stop being fixated on sales and let's instead fixate on these two things. Because if we do, sales will come. And then the final thing is customer experience. And look, this is really simple, but I kind of put it. For me, a huge number of retailers globally and businesses globally, banks, solicitors, whatever, we don't spend enough time thinking about how we approach customers.
I'm sure a lot of you who work in retail, especially in grocery retail, will be familiar with the problem of food waste. But just to refresh us all, food waste is a massive global problem. About 30% of food produced globally is lost or wasted. And Sustainable Goal 12.3 calls for us to have food waste and losses across the retail and consumers parts of the supply chain by 2030. So Project Drawdown has listed the top actions that we can take as a global community to reverse climate change. And the third most important one of those is reducing food waste. In an awareness survey that's run quarterly in the UK, food waste was the second highest awareness level from amongst UK consumers, behind, not surprisingly, plastics. At Food Cloud, our vision is a world where no good food goes to waste. So they said, what if we connected charities directly to stores? And what they started to do was they connected supermarkets directly to local charities using a piece of technology or an app. And the charities would travel directly to these stores to pick up any food that wasn't sold on a particular day. Everything is tracked and traced, so we can see the volume of food donated, the number of donations, the meals that the store has donated to the local community, and very importantly, the CO2 impact. And taking small actions when all pulled together can make a big difference, because this is what we're talking about, 10, 20 kgs of food on an evening, but that amounts to 70 million meals. So I'm just going to finish. I have a video, so we're going to test my technical capabilities to see if I can get it to work. But I just want to leave you on that.
Some people call us dreamers. Some say we have our heads in the clouds, that we're idealists. And with a vision of a world where no good food goes to waste, they're right. But we're the best kind of dreamers. We're doers. We are Food Cloud. A big-hearted team driven by kindness, fairness, and a desire to help people and the planet. Every day we grab the problem of surplus food with both hands and transform it into something positive. Through the power of food, we inspire volunteers, enable businesses, and empower charities. Then together, we breathe life into good food that would otherwise go to waste. And this food helps people to thrive, barriers to break down, conversations to come alive, and communities to flourish. As each act of kindness leads to another, our planet becomes a better place for us all. We're determined to keep making a difference, to keep rescuing food and sparking action in others. We want to see the Food Cloud effect unfold further and further, sending a surge of kindness through our communities, our country, and the world. Food Cloud. Hungry for a kinder world.
This is why it's important in the future retail and why IoT is there. And I think, David, you kind of call it a connectivity. You know, I see conversion is huge. And I think connectivity is a huge part of it, and that conversion. Because you want to have the customer experience. You've got your customers walking in today, and a lot of them, maybe there's loyalty programs that are there, they have it digitally on their app. You want to be able to engage with them as they walk in and as they walk by aisles, to how they find stuff as well. But one of the biggest areas we see is energy reduction. And I suppose in today's world, especially We see with the likes of Greta Thunberg, not just, it's such a big thing. Your brand is a reputation and you have to be seen, and you all have probably sustainability goals, but it's so easy for someone today, like someone like that, to actually put it out there if you're not achieving your goals. It's known very quickly. The whole idea with what we're trying to do is we want to prevent overcooling. So there's a huge, on the right hand side here you see different foods require different level of cooling. So ice cream, high-end ice cream particularly, down at -24. And I walk through my local stores and I see most freezers set to -26. It's huge. When you actually could have ice, you need ice at 10.5 to -10.5, frozen seafood -21, and the difference in actually trying to get something to cool to -21 to -26 on energy costs is huge. So what we have developed is a product that is actually able to identify what's in the freezer at a particular time and actually change the temperatures based on that. So again, as seasonality comes along, if you take some products out and you move it around the store, so ice cream is at the back in the winter, it might be near the front in the summer or near the tills, they actually change as time goes by. IoT, we see it, it has got a huge place to play in retail, as it does a whole host of sectors. We're very involved in it, but we see more than Wi-Fi, more than Bluetooth, all the connectivity that we're on the local networks. We're seeing that low-powered networks and 5G are going to have a huge impact.
Store of the future. What does that mean to you? You're all retailers. You've seen a lot today about customer experience, connectivity, Internet of Things, net zero energy store. I mean, that's a great one. I'd love to be there someday. Hope to work with some of you maybe to try and achieve that. We're working with Joe on remote signals here and developing connectivity solutions to try and improve our products going forwards. There's facial recognition systems out there, staff-free stores, flying shopping carts. There's all sorts of crazy stuff being talked about. Some of it's good, some of it's not, some of it's relevant, some of it isn't. As David's talked about this morning, a lot of it's about the customer experience, engaging the customer, bringing them forward, bringing them into your store. You have to give them a reason to come to your store. So, what could Novum do for your store of the future? Well, we believe we have game-changing refrigeration solutions for your stores. The Novum Leap technology. And then we have potentially the customer of the future. Now, this customer, as David suggested earlier, a lot more socially aware, a lot more climate aware, a lot more conscious of climate issues. And they want to be interacting with companies and dealing with companies that they believe are climate aware. So what can we do now to improve this? With the Leap technology, we built it on 4 pillars. First of all, we looked at all our customer needs and the global issues. As I said earlier, food integrity is always our primary concern. So with the Leap technology, we have no thaw cycles in the food product. You regularly get in low temp cases. Every defrost, you're heating the food, cooling it, heating it, cooling it. So we keep the stable temperatures. You have dry product, no wastage, food product. Efficiency, we used R290 propane, gives us a 20% advantage straight off. Our defrost system saves more energy, because it takes very little energy to defrost and virtually none to recover. It's factory tuned. We spend a lot of time developing it. So it doesn't have to get developed in your store. It doesn't have to be customized, tuned, commissioned. You just plug it in and it works. Serviceability, we've built in removable cassette refrigeration systems. So the propane refrigerant doesn't have to be serviced on your store floor. Service-free condensers, long life components, all these things to reduce the need for service, minimal maintenance. But probably the most important one is simplicity. We like to keep it simple. Simple to install. Simple to operate. Simple to live with. Simple to service. We've got the lowest energy by far of any case. Some of our typical competitors for the upright, we're using 3 times the energy. Using the Grand Cayman, chest raisers. The combination can be wheeled in overnight, plugged in, and you're up and running again. So minimal downtime in store. You've got a natural solution, the most energy efficient solution. The lowest capex. So you're going to save money, save time, save downtime, save energy, save your running costs, virtually eliminate your maintenance requirements. To be honest, I can think of all these good reasons why you should change. Can anybody think of a good reason why you shouldn't? Novum, the refrigeration of the future. Available now.
Out of the stuff that we do at Sheco, to simplify, we do a lot of market research. We follow the trends around sustainable cooling in different spaces, including food retail. We bring people together through conferences. Some of you may have attended them. They're called atmospheres. And then we do a lot of media outreach. We report about the trends, the technologies, the players, and so forth. I mean, if we think of coolants, they're used everywhere. They're used for all the food chain, obviously, but they're used in every single building, every single mode of transport. The internet is cooled, although servers, the vast majority of the servers use air conditioning still today. So it's everywhere, we just can't avoid it. And it has a massive, massive impact on our way of life. Some estimates say 20% of global emissions, that's more than the whole of the US, are related to cooling, refrigerants. It's crazy. And we have about 4 billion of these units of cooling that are out there in the market right now. So I'm including HVAC, air conditioning, not just refrigeration. And estimates are that that's going to grow to 10 billion by 2050. And there's 1 billion people on this planet that don't even have access to cooling right now. So it's going to get a lot worse. There's going to be a lot more demand, and if we don't step change the efficiencies of these systems, we're going to be in serious trouble. We're going to have a massive impact on the environment in terms of energy demand. And it's going to wipe out all the new systems that are going to be put in place. They're going to wipe out all the new solar energy that's going to be put in the grid around the world. It's that simple. So cooling matters. What's great about Novum is that they're hydrocarbons, they're natural. They're regulation-free in that respect. Most of the stores that have adopted natural refrigerant-based equipment have been in Europe, mostly CO2, transcritical CO2 to be specific, with racks. There's about 25,000 stores now across Europe. There's about 1,000 of them in the US and Canada combined, and 30,000 overall. So there's a definite, it's becoming, in Europe at least, it's becoming the norm now for any new store, depending on the size obviously, to go to CO2. However, what's interesting is you're starting to see competition now. And that's what's exciting about the Novum solution and others, is that you've got competition now between different natural refrigerant-based equipment, and you're seeing a lot of interest now in hydrocarbons based equipment and for food retail. And we see that the speed at which this is happening is faster than the uptake of CO2 in food retail a decade ago. So hydrocarbons, there are going to be more and more players, more and more end users, more and more suppliers offering solutions using hydrocarbon-based equipment.
One of the things we're seeing, and Mark has brought this up, it's not that easy to bring disruptive technology, and Joe will tell you to market. There's lots of blockers, there's lots of issues in terms of getting adoption to a disruptive technology. And unless there's a significant benefit, a really significant benefit, and really worthwhile, changing your technology. I think people are very reluctant to move. And one of our men, he's in the room today, was in, it's Jakob, was over in LA doing an onboarding commissioning job a couple of months ago. And great story, and marvellous energy savings, everything else really good. And this gent says to Jakob, look, that's important, it's all about sales. Yeah, which is understandable. So you got to bring all this tech in, do all that sort of stuff, and also increase sales. So when we're looking at innovation, we're trying to look at innovation with the help of Kathy's thinking, it's much broader than just the refrigeration unit. It's the whole aesthetics, it's the whole collaboration, co-design, fresh thinking, and it's not we're not talking theory here, we're actually talking reality. And one of the things that we're seeing is that our customers and new customers are becoming much more demanding, and they're looking for something that stands out, something a bit different, and fits what they're trying to deliver or portray in their brand.
Mostly involved with putting this together, which is obviously a huge amount of work went into this. And we have our chairman here, Tom O'Connor, sitting in the front row there. So we're accessible 24/7. That's me. Whoever's in the team, we're available. We're there to go to work whenever required. So we've been building the key account managers now, senior account managers. We've got back in this part of the world, we got Russell Armstrong for the UK. But it's about getting out, seeing, doing, meeting, understanding, challenging, questioning, and understanding customers' business. So we're doing a lot of that in that customer space. And we measure our performance. You'll see some of our KPIs out on the floor. So the innovation we're trying to do is really collaborative innovation.